Construction of a mausoleum for the late Chakufwa Chihana, the country's pre-democracy advocate, underway in Mzuzu. Greenbelt Authority under fire for alleged mismanagement of resources. And Boxing Federation of Malawi launches a regional boxing league to run across the country. And now the news in detail. Second Vice President Enoch Chihana has laid a foundation stone for the construction of a new mausoleum for pro-democracy advocate late Chakufwa Chihana at Kawiluwilu in Mzuzu. Chihana says the new mausoleum is a way of paying homage to his late father, Chakufwa Chihana. Blessings Gondo reports.
To ensure that late Chakufwa Chihana is resting at the dignified place, the Chihana family has embarked on construction of modern mausoleum for Chakufwa, who was the leader for Alliance for Democracy, AFOD. The second Vice President, Enoch Chihana, who is the son to late Chakufwa Chihana, said the mausoleum will have a tombstone, library, and a fence.
As a family, we thought it's the right time now to construct the mausoleum. In fact, it's the family and well-wishers who have come together to say, let us now start building the mausoleum. So today we invited the chiefs from Rumpi, Karonga, Mzimba and Katabe, and also the Synod of Livingstonia, because they are the ones who are located in this place for burial of late Chakufwa Chihana. So that's why we are here today. It's more or less a groundbreaking ceremony, but also a traditional ceremony for the chiefs now to let the contractor start building the mausoleum.
Chakufwa, a fighter for multi-party democracy, was born in 1939 and died in the year 2006. He served as the second vice president under Dr. Bagiri Muluzi administration. Blessings Gondwe, MBC News, Mzuzu.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri and Minister of Health and Sanitation Malawi have expressed satisfaction with hygiene adherence efforts in Lilongwe's public institutions. The two ministers shared these sentiments after inspecting the Lilongwe Main Market, Nsungu Market in Area 25 and the Area 25 Health Center. Mine Tomodzi reports.
The inspection tour by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri and his Health and Sanitation counterpart Madalitso Baloi began with the receipt of a donation of 40 waste bins by SS Company. Baloi welcomed the donation and called on the private sector to support government and public institutions in adhering to President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's executive order mandating all public institutions to maintain hygiene and sanitation at all times.
We are very grateful for the support today. As you know, we received an order here in Malawi, executive order from the President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. That order just ensures that Malawi is clean. As you know, Malawi currently is battling with diseases like cholera, diseases like mpox and other preventable diseases, and we are saying if we can be clean, if we can make sure we are having safe water, if we can make sure we are managing our refuse and waste, then we will be able to beat these diseases.
Manager for SS Limited Company Chifundo Banda said the donation is part of the private sector support towards the President's executive order on hygiene and support in public places.
We thought it was wise and smart to partake in a sanitation project initiative that is given upon all the Malawians. As a private sector, we think we can make a difference, we can make a big change.
From Lilongwe Main Market to Msungu Market, the two ministers were impressed with the cleanliness efforts being undertaken in the facilities. Albert Zwao is chairperson for Msungu Market and asked for more resources and equipment to support the sanitation activities at the market.
Yeah, you know, we are able to clean the market, but now transportation of the waste from the departments to the main dumping site is the main problem. So if at all we can be given the tricycle so that you can be transporting all the waste from the departments to the main dumping site, that would be so much welcome.
On his part, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri assured people that the government will provide the necessary support to ensure that the executive order by the President is adhered to.
These are matters that we are going to work out on. As you know, it is an order that has just come. with my colleague Minister of Sanitation. We are meeting immediately after this to now look at whatever we can support them with. I must be quick to mention that we have seen organizations that have already started donating bins, i.e. the S that we had this morning. I have had calls this far from different banks that wants to do the same, and we are inviting all goodwill Malawians to join hands with us to make sure that Malawi is clean again.
Recently, President Professor Athapita Muthalika issued an executive order mandating all public institutions to ensure that there is sanitation and hygiene. Mwaimtumodzi, MPC News, Lilongwe.
In a related development, Ministry of Health and Sanitation says Malawi is making steady progress in strengthening the country's health sector despite facing persistent challenges such as shortages of medical personnel, medicines and diagnostic equipment. Deputy Minister of Health and Sanitation, Charles Chilambula, made the remarks in Lilongwe during Commonwealth Day commemorations hosted by the British High Commission in partnership with the Commonwealth Secretariat and the Commonwealth Pharmacists Association. Smart Shalika with the details.
Chilambula said Malawi's health system continues to carry a heavy burden of preventable diseases, but government efforts working together with international partners are helping to strengthen service delivery. He added that programs implemented with support from the Commonwealth Pharmacists Association have contributed to building the health workforce, improving health systems, and promoting responsible use of medicines across the country.
This is a very important program as they have some of the components that we really need, like issues of antimicrobial resistance. It's a big challenge in Malawi, so Commonwealth has supported us a lot together that's the United Kingdom government in terms of training health workers and as well as supplying us with some equipment which are needed in the dealing with the antimicrobial resistance.
Acting British High Commissioner and Development Director Ben Nicholson said the United Kingdom and Malawi must ensure that available health resources are used efficiently to improve frontline services and strengthen health systems amid global funding pressures.
Look, it's true that aid flows are reducing globally, but I would encourage Malawi and many other countries to look beyond grant finance in ODA. The most significant reforms that developing countries like Malawi can make are growing the economy, and that, in improving the incomes of individual Malawians, is going to make the single biggest difference in reducing poverty and achieving the SDGs here in Malawi.
Chief Executive Officer for the Commonwealth Pharmacists Association, Victoria Ruta, highlighted the impact of the UK African Leadership Fellowship Programme, saying the initiative has introduced quality improvements projects that have enhanced teamwork among health workers, improved patient outcomes, and promote responsible use of antibiotics.
The Fleming Fund was focused on developing surveillance systems and collecting data for antimicrobial resistance, and we've certainly helped to strengthen the lab capacity so that we can detect and treat infections more rapidly and more effectively, and we can monitor the resistant organisms and make sure that patients are getting the medicines that they need, and that will obviously help to reduce, and it has helped to reduce mortality.
This year's Commonwealth Day celebrations are being held under the theme Unlocking Opportunities Together for a Prosperous Commonwealth. Smart Chaliga, MBC, Lilongwe.
Federation of Disability Organizations in Malawi, FEDOMA, has called for strengthened partnership among key stakeholders involved in promotion of inclusive education in the country. Executive Director for the organization, Simon Monde, said this in Mangochi during presentation of a 2025 progress report of its inclusive education project currently underway in the district. Sotin Ndazi has compiled this report, read by Owen Mavula.
The Federation of Disability Organizations in Malawi, FEDOMA, has been implementing an inclusive education program for children with disabilities in Mangochi to address challenges that children with disabilities face in the course of accessing education. The program, which is expected to end in 2027, is being implemented with support from the International Association of Intellectual Disability, of Iceland. Through the program, the organization boasts of reaching out to parents and guardians who are raising children with disabilities in the areas of traditional authority Mponda and Mapira, with awareness campaigns on the importance of allowing children with disabilities access quality education. Simon Munde is the executive director for Fidoma.
Inclusive education, to be achieved, we have to involve as many stakeholders as possible. And some of the achievements that we've registered are to do with the establishment and the running of the parent support groups in our community.
On her part, coordinator for inclusive education at Mangochi District Education Office, Clara Ntopola, commended the close working relationship that exists between Fidoma and different stakeholders at district level.
A number of activities have been done. And through those activities, we have seen an increase in access of education to learners with disabilities. So we may also make follow-ups to those that have attended orientations to see the impact of what they learned. And starting from the CBCCs and the primary school level, we have seen improvements in how the teachers are handling the learners with disabilities.
According to Fidoma, the targeted number of children with disabilities to be incorporated in the program is expected to increase by 30% by the end of the project in 2027.
The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) has urged temporary staff to maintain high levels of professionalism ahead of the March 17 by-elections. MEC Commissioner Emmanuel Fabiano made the call during a training of biometric voter verification device operators and presiding officers in Blantyre.
We hire personnel on temporary basis for the specific activities that we conduct, which are elections. And therefore, we want to make sure that everybody is reminded of their responsibilities. Everybody that is undergoing training now have been trained before. We have previously worked as the biometric voter verification device operators. They know what they have done. But as a commission, we also know that there are some challenges that need to be addressed because nobody learns how to use equipment and be professional in using it. And therefore, this is, if you like, a second training and make sure that everybody understands their responsibilities as the law says. And I emphasize the importance of professionalism because some people undergo the training, they know how to use the equipment, but they don't appreciate and understand that we operate under laws that guide us in all our operations. And therefore, we want to make sure that everybody who is working for the Malawi Electoral Commission, for whatever responsibility they have been given, to do this as is said and not as they think they should do.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories this afternoon. Construction of a mausoleum for the late Chakufwa Chihana, the country's pre-democracy advocate, underway in Mzuzu. Greenbelt Authority under fire for alleged mismanagement of resources. And Boxing Federation of Malawi launches a regional boxing league to run across the country.
This team, Mbola, Mene, Nkhani zeni. Nkhani zokutino muzitsate bwino bwino.
Nkhani ngandonena kuti khandi upanga chibwezi mnyamara iko zakafula. Ndeti napita maloneka kuti tikatani kuti tikachezi.
Mimi ndilo panga chibwezi sina vile kukaitesa magazi.
Ngokonzeka kuti mwana wamalizati amagaza.
Maitse semana nabwera nakangarura nani ankomela iyeyo. Ine sisinayendi.
Eni yake kuzifotokoza, kusantula, komanso kukuthula nkhawa zawo. Ndizikupatsirani programu imeneyi ndine mkhozi komanso mulutsi Andrea. Don't miss kuyambira April 1.
Welcome back. The Parliamentary Cluster Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation and Natural Resources and Climate Change is recommending a 2 billion kwacha allocation for the Greenbelt Authority for other recurring transactions until it clarifies allegations of mismanagement of resources that are currently in the public domain. Member of Parliament for Rumpi West, Yona Mkandawire, who co-chaired the meeting, made the remarks when officials from the authority appeared before the Cluster Committee. Olive Piri reports.
On Monday, the Greenbelt Authority presented a 2025-2026 progress report and 2026-2027 financial year budget and plans for the authority before the Parliamentary Cluster Committee on Agriculture and Irrigation and Natural Resources and Climate Change. Presenting the 2026-2027 financial year budget, new Chief Executive Officer for Greenbelt Authority, Anderson Chikomola, requested for an additional 26 billion kwacha to its allocation of 9.3 billion in the 2026-2027 financial year, saying the amount will not meet the authority's contractual and operational obligations. Chikomola said there is a downward revision of total allocation from 58.5 billion kwacha in the 2025-2026 financial year to 9.3 billion kwacha in the 2026-2027 financial year. One of the members of the Parliamentary Cluster Committee, Binton Kutsaira, however, was quick to point out that it is difficult to trust the authority with additional funding as it needs to clarify allegations that it plundered public funds. Member of Parliament for Rumpi West, who co-chaired the meeting, Yona Dadawiza Mkandawire, said there is need for physical verification of projects at the Greenbelt Authority and that various audits should also be conducted. Mkandawire said the Cluster Committee will not allow the release of extra funds to an institution or MDA where government resources are being abused. He also expressed a concern with the absence of finance manager and procurement officer among the officials from the authority.
We are not saying not to give them, but the funds have to be ring-fenced, put somewhere until the Attorney General or investigative mechanisms have been put in place, and even the resources that were plundered at Greenbelt are recovered. It's when now we can know that we are putting in some resources which will be taken care. These are taxes. Malawians are complaining of daily taxes.
In his remarks, the new Chief Executive Officer for the Greenbelt Authority, Anderson Chikomola, said the authority is currently engaging various institutions to seek legal guidance and conduct technical and forensic audits into the alleged mismanagement of resources.
We are waiting for the information from these other partners so that should help us to make a proper decision.
Meanwhile, the Parliamentary Cluster Committee on Agriculture and Irrigation and Natural Resources and Climate Change from the Greenbelt Authority and the Ministry of Finance to discuss the way forward for the authority. Olive Piri, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Anglican faithfuls under the Anglican Diocese of Lake Malawi have handed over a new vehicle to the Bishop Daniel Kalonga at a function held at St. Thomas Anglican Church in Lilongwe. Chairperson of the fundraising committee for the project, Simeon Mwale, said the gesture has been made as one of improving mobility for the bishop's pastoral duties in the diocese. Details in this report by Vincent Masaya.
Speaking during the handover ceremony of the new vehicle at St. Thomas Anglican Church in Lilongwe, Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Lake Malawi, Daniel Kalonga, expressed gratitude for the generosity of the Anglican faithful and other well-wishers. He added that the new vehicle will help him carry out his duties in churches across the diocese.
This vehicle is going to help me in my assignments, starting from the pastoral side. As the head of the diocese, as the bishop, we have 65 parishes in our diocese that are found in our 8 districts in the central region.
Chairperson of the fundraising committee in the Anglican Diocese of Lake Malawi, Simeon Mwale, said he is grateful to church members, partners and government for the support rendered towards the project.
The total value is 170 million for the vehicle, and we thank all the partners that have assisted, the church members and also partners outside, government, for all the support in having this vehicle to be here today, where the Bishop has graciously accepted it and launched it.
The 170 million Malawian kwacha 2025 Toyota Adventure was purchased with support from the church members and its partners. Vincent Masea, MBC, Lilongwe.
Now finally in sports, the Boxing Federation of Malawi has launched a regional boxing league which is expected to run across the country. Launching the league in Lilongwe, Director of Operations in the Ministry of Sports, Justice Msopera, said the league will help to prepare athletes as they are getting set for the Commonwealth Games to be held in Glasgow, Scotland from 23rd July to 2 August this year. Paul Mloka has filed a report.
Msopera says the league has been the missing link in the fight for international belts in the boxing world. He believes that it will unearth hidden talents that will represent Malawi even at the Commonwealth Games ahead. Mpokera has since expressed the government's commitment towards the goal.
Particularly happy to see what the Boxing Federation has brought here. They have brought a league. This is the first time for me to hear about the league. The league will provide the boxers with more time to box and also the officials to check what they're doing, to assess the athletes, to teach them the best techniques in order to win.
Federation's Vice President Maxwell Tsitsi said the league will be played in regions and later teams that do well will meet at national level.
Today, within a short space of time, we have launched this league. It's a milestone to us, and we are grateful to a number of stakeholders, especially government and Malawi Olympic Committee, who have made it possible that we should reach this far. We didn't expect such a huge crowd to patronize, bearing in mind that the boxers that we are featuring today, most of them are amateurs, and we only have one elite boxing or only one professional boxing.
During the launch, Malawian lightweight boxer Yohane Banda faced Jerome Betiti from Democratic Republic of Congo in the main bout, which ended on a draw after 8 rounds. Paul Mloka, MBC, Lilongwe.
In news just coming in, Blantyre City Council has this morning shut down business entities that have failed to settle their outstanding city rates. The exercise, which was led by the city's mayor, Councillor Isaac Jomo Osman, and the Malawi police, comes following the end of a 2-month ultimatum issued to property owners to settle their rates. Our reporter Jisomo Break is on the line.
It is true indeed that this morning, Blantyre City Council is shutting down some of the business entities that are owing the city in terms of city rates. So this morning, the exercise started with closure of Malawi Housing Corporation headquarters offices in Blantyre. The initiative is being led by Mayor of the city, Councillor Isaac Jomo Osman. He's joined by fellow councillors as well as police. According to Jomo Osman, Malawi Housing Corporation is owing Blantyre City Council 460 million kwacha. These are rentals that the Malawi Housing Corporation owing the city. So the city has closed the offices of Malawi Housing Corporation. As he was closing down the offices, there was panic from the member staff because some of them were surprised because they did not know that the corporation is owing the city 460 million kwacha. And from there, the city's mayor, in conjunction with the police and of course fellow councillors, proceeded to Chiwembe in Limbe, Blantyre, where they also sealed offices belonging to Pacific Limited. This is an office building that is found in Chiwembe, Blantyre. The owner, Faizu Ab, is also owning the council a lot of money in terms of city rates. And after that, they also proceeded to Limbe and close down offices belonging to Nakala Logistics. These are operators of rail transport in our country, and according to the city mayor, Isaac Osman, Nakala Logistics is also owing Blantyre City Council over 60 million. So they complied. Of course, there was some resistance from officials from the Nakala Logistics. There were some understanding between the two sides, but at the end of their discussions, they agreed to amicably seal the office. So the mayor built the offices in Nakala Logistics. So according to the mayor, business entities in Blantyre are owing the council in excess of 80 billion kwacha. So according to him, delay in settling this money is also compromising service delivery. He pointed out an example that currently the city is struggling to rehabilitate some of the roads in the city. There are potholes, there are potholes everywhere in the city. So the council is failing to repair or failing to maintain some of these roads because it doesn't have money, it doesn't have resources, because the resources are in the hands of business entities in the city. So this is part of the initiative meant to, ask these business entities, owners of property in Blantyre City Council, settle down their interests in order for the money to be channeled to service delivery.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. Construction of a mausoleum for the late Shakufwa Chihana, the country's pre-democracy advocate, underway in Mzuzu. Green Belt Authority under fire for alleged mismanagement of resources. And Boxing Federation of Malawi launches a regional boxing league to run across the country. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital pages by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Obile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Listen to this special message from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation on the World Kidney Day commemoration for 2026. The Ministry of Health and Sanitation will commemorate World Kidney Day on March 12, 2026 under the theme Kidney Health for All, Caring for People, Protecting the Planet. This year's focus is on the detrimental impact of environmental changes on kidney health, highlighting the growing burden of chronic kidney disease, CKD, due to climate-related risks such as air pollution, heat,